Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, good.
And what is your first name?
April Millsap.
Okay, have a seat. You can speak louder.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Would you please state your full name for the record, spell your last name if you haven't done that?
Jennifer Millsap, M-I-L-L-S-A-P.
May I call you Jennifer?
Sure.
We are in court, Jennifer. We have a jury right here. We need you to keep your voice up so at least they can hear you back to this point right here. You are also on videotape. As you can see, the camera is up above you, and there are a couple of cameras on the side. Those cameras are there to record you. When I ask questions, I will need you to have a verbal response because we can't continue to have testimony or any hearings or purposes after we're finished with the trial.
Yes.
Jennifer, how old are you?
44.
And what city do you live in?
Armada.
How long have you lived in Armada?
About 8 years.
Who do you live in Armada with?
David Litchfield.
And how is he related to you?
My boyfriend.
And who else in at least July of 2014 did you live in Armada with?
April Millsap.
And who is April Millsap?
My daughter.
Were you employed in July of 2014?
No, I was not.
Again?
No.
I do apologize in advance for having to get a little personal, but I hear your speech pattern and I see you walking up with a cane. Do you have a medical condition?
Yes, I do.
Would you please explain to the jury what that medical condition is?
It is called cerebral ataxia. It's just a motor skill problem which affects my walking and my speech.
Does it affect how you think?
No.
Does it affect your memory?
No.
Does it affect your recognition skills?
No.
Are you able to live a normal life
Yes.
with these physical limitations?
Right. Yes.
Are you currently taking any medications?
No.
Did you take any medications, anything to relax you or anything like that before you testified today?
No.
In July of 2014, how old was April?
14.
What school was she going to?
Armada Middle School.
What grade was she in?
8th grade.
How was she as a student?
She was 8th base.
How was she, I guess, as a daughter?
She was a wonderful daughter.
I'm going to ask one final question about that, and that is, does she have any siblings herself?
She's got a half-sister, yes.
Does the half-sister live with you in Armada?
No.
So basically in Armada it was you and David and April.
Yes.
And for how many years had it been just the three of you at that house?
8 years.
I'm going to show you a picture and ask if you can recognize who is People's Proposed Exhibit A. All the things I've done here, do you have any stickers? let stickers bite them around, you know, this is people's proposed exhibit A, exhibit 1. And ask if you recognize who's in that picture.
That's April,
How old is she in this picture?
14.
At this time, Your Honor, I would move to introduce people's exhibit number 1, which would be the photograph of the victim in this case, April Millsap.
Submitted.
May we publish?
You may.
She died in July of 2014. When was this picture taken?
May of 2014.
Where was it taken at?
That particular picture was at our house.
Okay. Was it a special day that picture was taken on?
It was a competition day, yes.
What were April's hobbies?
She liked art, drawing, she loved to write poetry and short stories.
Did she spend a lot of time doing those activities?
Yes, she did.
Was she involved in any activities, any school activities or after-school activities?
No,
Who were her close friends in July of 2014?
it was Austin Albertson, Faith Dillard, I think her name was Maggie, Maddie, I don't know her last name,
Did you know many of her friends?
handful.
Would they come to the house?
Yes, you did,
You would see them there?
yes.
We've heard the name Austin Albertson. Was he a very close friend? Was he considered more than just a friend, I
He
guess?
was her boyfriend at the time.
All right. Do you have any pets?
Yes, you do.
How many pets do you have?
You have 2 dogs and 2 cats.
What are the names of the cats?
Satan and Fluffy.
Could you get further on the opposite side of the spectrum? Names. Do you have, how many dogs? You indicated you had 2 dogs. What are their names?
Bella and Penny.
Let's start with Bella first. What type of dog is Bella?
Bella is a pit bull lab mix.
And what type of dog is Penny?
A border collie lab mix.
Would April exercise those dogs?
She took walks very regularly, yes.
Is she in school on on July 24th of 2014?
No.
How often would she walk the dogs that summer?
Every day, every other day.
Where would she normally walk the dogs?
She'd go to the trail, she'd go up to the corner, up to the park, not too far.
Are you familiar with the trail?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever yourself been on the trail?
Yes, I have.
Had you walked it or ridden a bike on it? Or
Both.
Both? How far, I guess, is the trail from your house?
About a mile, 2 miles.
How often, I guess, was there a preference that April had in walking either Bella or Penny?
You mean which dog she
Right,
take?
right.
No.
Was one considered her dog and one considered not her dog? Or
No, they were a family dog.
when she would normally walk the dogs, would she have the dogs on a leash?
Yes, she was.
Would you describe, I guess, Penny's disposition to the jury?
Very mild, wouldn't hurt fly.
When you would roughhouse with your daughter, would Penny attack?
Not Penny, no.
Would Bella attack?
She would wrestle,
Yeah.
not attack, to be mean.
All right. She'd make noise?
Yes.
In the summer of 2014, did April own a phone?
Yes.
What type of phone was it?
iPhone,
And who got her the phone?
David did.
About how long had she had this particular phone?
December, so about 6 months.
Did you have any restrictions on her use of the phone?
No.
Had she ever gotten in trouble with the phone and had it taken away as part of a timeout or something? I never
No.
put 14-year-olds in timeout, but any...
No, not with that particular phone, no.
Okay. Did you really have any trouble with her at all during this time?
No.
This is People's Proposed Exhibit Number 2, Your Honor, once again. I don't have any stickies, but I will find one for tomorrow. Here we go. Here, thank you. Saved by the deputy. I'm going to hand you an item and ask if you can recognize that item.
That is April's phone.
That's a phone that is either consistent with April's, or is there something special about that phone that would have you be able to say this particular iPhone is April's phone?
No, that's a trigger on.
Do you know or remember what April's phone number was?
586-337-1458.
At this time, Your Honor, we're going to leave this as proposed exhibit number 2. There will be a witness tomorrow who will tie this phone in. I'm going to hand you something which is People's Proposed Exhibit number 3. And ask if you can recognize that item.
That is her cell phone case.
And how do you know that that is her cell phone cover?
That's when I bought her back in September, I believe.
Was it in 2 pieces the last time that you saw it?
No.
Are you certain that that is the cover?
Yes, it is.
At this time, Your Honor, we would move to the introduction of People's Exhibit number 3, which is April's cell phone cover.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Back in the summer of 2014, was April working?
No.
She was home from school?
Yes.
Vacation, more or less?
Yes.
What was her daily routine?
She spent a lot of time in her room. She would go outside, walk the dog, spend time with the Austin.
Was there any particular type of exercising that she normally did?
Walking.
Did she ever walk the dogs together?
No.
Was there a reason for that?
They were 2 rambunctious together.
Normally then she would take one dog at a time.
She would take one at a time, yes.
Let's go back to the day of July 24th of 2014. Was it unusual to you that she would have walked Penny on that day?
No.
Was there any time prior to that she had ever complained to you about somebody following her, or she was concerned about anything?
There was, in the mornings, during school, a truck in the parking lot across the street that she would say was suspicious to her.
And how far is this location from your house?
With a truck, right? I say from here to the back of the courtroom.
It should be approximately 42 feet, Your Honor. I've mentioned it before. Any objections to shoot?
No, Your Honor.
Did you also yourself ever see that truck?
I never see it, no.
Did you do anything about that?
David looked into it, I did not.
Okay. And David would be your boyfriend?
Yes.
Did the resolution turn out to worry you at all?
No, it turned out to be nothing.
Did you find out who owned that vehicle?
Not particularly sure, no.
Okay. But it didn't cause you any concern?
No.
And how long before July 24th was that?
Maybe December,
So 6 months or so?
about 6 months, yeah.
In the 6 months leading up to then July 24th, after she'd made the statement and David had looked into it, had she complained about it at all again to you?
No,
So for approximately 6 months before July 24th, nothing was brought up about that?
no, she said it on occasion, and then David looked into it, and it turned out to be nothing.
Okay. Approximately what time on July 24th did your daughter leave the house?
About 5:30,
Who was she with?
just Penny.
Who was home?
I was
Where was David?
at work.
Was there anything unusual about her walking the dogs at this time?
No,
Did you have any fear or concerns for her walking the dog at this time?
no,
When Penny would normally be walked by your daughter, what would your daughter take with her when she left the house?
backpack, a bag with dog treats and water.
What did she leave with that day?
We had her backpack with her, and I think she had a bottle of water in there.
Going to show you people's proposed exhibit number 4. And ask if you can recognize what's in that picture.
That is Penny.
That's your dog, Penny?
Yes, yes.
Is that a picture of what Penny looked like on July 24th of 2014?
Yes.
At this time, now we move to the introduction of people's proposed exhibit number 24.
No objection from the defense.
Submitted,
May I publish?
yes.
Your Honor, with the number of photographs that we have coming in, need I ask them to be published on the screen after every time one is finally accepted?
No.
Just go ahead and publish.
We can keep going.
Thank you. So if, can you see the screen from where you're at?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
All
somewhere.
right. I'm just going to ask you to look at the picture, if you would. Would you describe the coloring of Penny?
She's black, white, and both black.
Okay, mostly black,
Yes.
but there is a large piece of white on her.
On her chest. yes.
Okay. And so when we look at it, the white part in front, that's white, and that was part of her coloring on that day of July 24th of 2014?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hand you people's proposed exhibit number 5 and ask if you can recognize several of the people in that photo.
The two boys on the left are Austin and his friend Alex.
Okay, so when you had indicated earlier that she had several friends and Austin was a boyfriend and Alex was another friend, you recognize them from that picture?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, we would move to the introduction of People's Exhibit Number 5.
No objection, Your Honor.
Submitted?
Publish.
Which one, please?
Now, just for a second, I'm going to push this screen back a little bit so you can see it. Can you lean forward a little bit and see the screen?
Yes.
All right, I have two gentlemen. I have a gentleman in a black shirt, a gentleman in a blue shirt. Which one is Austin? Okay, so this is Austin, who was your boyfriend at the time? In the black shirt? Okay, and then in the blue shirt there, that is the other friend?
Yes,
Alice?
Alex.
Okay. I'm going to hand you People's Exhibit, proposed Exhibit Number 6, and ask, once again, if you can recognize the two boys in that photograph.
Two boys are Austin and Alex, yes.
At this time, Your Honor, we would move to the introduction of People's Proposed Exhibit Number 6.
No objection, Your Honor.
Submitted?
And then if you would lean forward just a little bit again, we have a gentleman in the black, that would be Austin.
That would be Austin.
And the blue would be
is Alex.
Okay, thank you. Did you ever see April again after she left your house at 5:30 on July 24th?
No.
Up until recently, had you ever seen her backpack again?
No.
Or the bottle of water that she carried?
No.
Don't you show you a couple of items and ask you to identify them? I'm going to show you People's Proposed Exhibit Number 7. I'm going to hold it for you so that you do not have to touch it. Do you recognize what is People's Proposed Number 7?
That is April's backpack that she took that day.
And how, in this condition, would you know that that is April's backpack?
I recognize the leather backpack.
Do you know who bought this for her?
I did.
And how long before July 24th had you bought this for her?
Maybe a year or two.
Is this the backpack she normally wore when she left the house?
She had many, but that was one of them.
Okay. Is this the one that she left with that day?
Yes, it was.
to hold up for you people's proposed exhibit number 8 and ask if you recognize this.
This bottle of water that she took with her that day.
At this time, Your Honor, we move to the introduction of people's exhibit number 8.
No objection, Your Honor.
Submitted.
Finally, I'm going to hold up for you people's proposed exhibit number 9. You can take a photo down, Craig. You know what this is,
Dog treats?
okay? And do you recognize this?
Yes.
Okay, how do you recognize this?
This was a dog treat that I had bought previously for the dog.
Would she normally take dog treats with her when she walked the dogs?
Yeah,
And water?
yeah.
What else did she normally take with her when she would walk the dog?
The leash, sometimes the sweatshirt for herself,
Okay.
and maybe a bowl of water for the dog.
So a bowl to put water in?
Yeah.
Do you know what type of leash she walked Penny on that day?
With a red retractable leash.
One of those ones you push a button on and it goes back and comes
Yep.
in? Have you ever seen that leash again?
No.
Did there come a time, I guess, on July 24th, when you started to become worried?
Yes.
About what time was that?
Maybe 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
What did you do? What were you worrying about?
It would be gone for a while, especially with dogs.
Normally, how long does she take these walks?
Hour, yeah.
So an hour, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
The date is July 24th. You're talking approximately 8 o'clock. I guess, is it light or dark outside?
It's light outside.
What do you do, I guess, now that you're worried about it? What do you start to do?
First I started texting her, and when I received a response after two or three texts, I called her.
Normally, when you send her a text, how soon does she respond?
She's 14, so sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't, depending on how she felt that day.
All right. Did you call?
Yes, I called.
Did you leave a voicemail message?
Yes, I did.
Did you ever receive a return phone call?
No.
After you had texted, well, I guess, where were you when you were texting and calling?
I was in the house.
How long did you wait after texting and calling before you did anything else?
Usually 5 minutes between texts, 10 minutes between texts. Then the phone call within a half hour.
What did you do when you did not receive any response to either the calls or the texts?
I just texted again, over and over again, and then I contacted her boyfriend, see if he had heard from her that day, and he told me he did not.
And that would be Austin?
Yes, it was.
How did you contact him?
Text.
Approximately what time did you text him?
I want to say it was maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock.
What did you do after you had texted Austin?
I went out looking for her, I got in the car and actually drove around.
Where did you drive looking for her?
At first was the trail, then I went down the road, and then back home,
Approximately how long did that take?
10 minutes.
When you got home, was anybody there?
Austin and Alex,
Do you know how they arrived?
by car,
Who drove?
Alex.
So Alex must be at least 16 at that point.
Yes.
What do you do next?
I let Austin know what's going on, and he and Alec and I went in three separate directions looking for April.
Austin on foot?
Austin took April's bike. Alex was in his car, I was in my car.
This time, where did you go?
I went to the trail. Austin went down the trail the other way, and Alex went down the road.
Now, when you say you went to the trail, is there, I guess, a starting point in Armada or an easy access location to the Orchard Trail?
I went to the intersection of Fulton and Depot by the granary.
Okay, we're going to hear a lot about the granary. What is the granary?
It's where I assume they make dog food there because it smells pretty bad.
And is there, can you drive your car onto that trail?
You can drive up to the trail, but you cannot go on the trail with a motorized vehicle.
When you got to the trail, did you get out of your vehicle?
No.
Did you see anything, I guess, unusual at that time, the second time at the trail?
Not the second time, no.
Where did you go, I guess, after you left the trail?
I'm going to walk further down the road,
Which road?
Fulton.
And then from where, there to where?
I went up to the car wash, which is just where the block is so down. And then I got a phone call from Austin telling me that on Depot Road to come in.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Now describe to the jury when you arrived back at Depot Road, what's going on.
Austin was there with a police officer, and Austin told me that the animal control was there. He did not see the dog, but animal control was feeding, and there was Austin and one or two police officers.
When you arrived there, who did you speak to?
One of the officers.
Did you see, I guess, with animal control there, did you see Penny there?
No, I did not.
Okay. What did you say to the officers that were at the scene?
I introduced myself, told them who it was, and told them that my daughter we were looking for my daughter because they would not talk to Austin, so he got me.
How did you describe your daughter to the officers?
Just my daughter. I didn't really go into much detail.
How was she dressed when she left the house that day?
She had changed her clothes 3 or 4 times that day, so I'm not sure if she was wearing the shorts or long pants.
Is it unusual for April to change clothes multiple times in a day?
No.
Typical 14-year-old daughter?
Yes.
What are you asked to do, I guess, when you're talking to the officers about your daughter?
He asked me what happened and what conspired that day, and pretty much that's it. He asked me what happened.
Did you tell him pretty much what you've been telling the jury, that what time she left and who she left with and normally where she goes?
Yes.
What were you, I guess, asked to do after that? First of all, how long did that conversation last with the officers at the trail?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Were you shown anything or asked anything at that time?
No.
After you were there for 15, 20 minutes, where did you go?
Back to the police station.
Did you drive yourself or did somebody take you to the
I
station?
went in the back of the officer's car.
At the time that they're taking you to the station, had you been given any information about what you saw on the trail in terms of the police and the
No,
EMS?
we have not.
When you get to the station, where are you put inside the station?
Not the main station, but the back room.
Back room? Did you speak to anyone in the back room then?
Not for a while, no.
About how long were you there before somebody came in to talk to you?
Half hour, 45 minutes.
Was anybody with you at this time?
Austin was.
Were you at some point that evening asked to make an identification?
Not that evening, no.
What I guess happens at the station that evening after you've been there?
After I've been there for a while, some state police detectives came in. I went over the story again with them and with a couple of the officers.
How long did that take?
Hours, it seemed like.
Once you had told the story, I guess, another couple of times, where did you go next?
Same room.
Same
We
room.
went back and forth from that back room to the main officers area,
How long were you at the station total that evening?
about 10 hours.
Were you told anything at the station that evening?
Nothing specific. Toward the end of the evening, we were told that they did find something, but that's all I was told, that they found something. They found a body.
Approximately what time did you get back to your house?
By 8:30, the next morning.
Did you see or speak to the officers again that next day, which would be July 25th?
Yes, I did.
About what time?
2 o'clock.
Do you remember what officers you spoke to?
I don't recall anybody's name, no.
When they came that afternoon, then explain to the jury what happened.
An FBI investigator, I believe his name was Nicole, but don't quote me on that, came with a picture of April and FBI to identify her.
Were you able to identify her?
Yes, I was.
Was April, I guess, the type of person that would yell and scream? Was she confrontational?
No, she was quiet.
Was she quiet around the house, I guess, also? then?
Yes, she was.
Quiet in school?
Yes.
Was she the type that would have been afraid to ask for help from others?
She was very independent. She liked to do things herself.
Who was home with you when you made the identification?
David?
David?
Just David, yes.
You've known Austin a while,
Yes, I am.
and you knew him a while, I guess, on July 24th of 2014?
About a year and a half.
A year and a half. When he came to the house after you had texted him, did he seem distressed?
Was worried about it
And why was he worried?
because he had not seen her all day and he had gotten a strange text from her earlier that evening.
And that made him concerned?
Yes, it was.
And he told you about that?
He told me about the text, yes.
Did that make you even more concerned, I guess, at the time when you learned that?
A little bit, yes, it did.
And he told you what that text was?
Yes, he did.
And it's been said in opening statement, it was, OMFG, I almost got kidnapped.
Something like that, yes. I'm not exactly sure the exact wording, but to that point.
Did it mean anything to you?
I thought it was strange. I mean, the stuff like I would expect to hear in a small town like Armada.
Had she ever faked being kidnapped or
No,
anything
she
like
did
that?
not.
Did she ever want to like really be the center of attention by coming up with these false stories?
No.
Just in case I didn't ask it before, approximately what time did she leave home?
Well, about 30.
About 5:30, okay. Thank you, Jennifer. I have no further questions. Mr. Sheik may have some questions.
Good afternoon, Ms. Millsap. You and I have had, unfortunately, an occasion to speak with you before, right? First of all, as a father of two daughters, I want to offer my condolences on your loss. I'm going to ask you, ma'am, just to keep the voice up, forget about everybody else, but just so that these two jurors that are furthest from you can hear you.
Yes.
If you don't mind, thank you. I'm just going to ask you very briefly a couple of questions, okay? You're welcome. I think you indicated, at least in some of the reports where you talked to the police officers, that April liked music and she liked playing drums.
Yes, she played drums in school, yes.
Okay. And she liked going on the computer and was very social, correct?
Online she was, yes.
Okay. And I believe you referred to her as Pied Piper because all the animals in the house loved her. Is that, do you remember that?
She was, yes.
And I think you also indicated that there were times that's how you knew she was there and animals would wake up when they saw April, correct?
April was the center of the world, yes.
And just so that I could confirm some things that I recall. First of all, this was a Thursday. It was July 24. So obviously April's out of school. She got up about 2 o'clock, if you remember.
I don't recall the time, but yes, she slept in. She had to sleep in.
Okay. And you did indicate she changed her clothes about 3 or 4 times that particular day, right?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And she took her phone and the backpack and the things that we talked about with her, correct?
Yes.
And was that phone exclusively hers, or did she share it with anybody?
That was hers and hers alone.
Okay. And how long had she had it?
About 6 months.
I'm sorry, 6 months?
About 6 months, yes.
And was April, if you recall, right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed, okay. Did she wear, how did she wear her nails, if you remember? Did she have extensions or just the natural nails?
Just an extra now.
Would she get them done? Would she do them herself?
On occasion, she would get them done for special occasions, but normally she did them herself.
With polish and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't wear them long, like past...
No, nothing too long, no.
Now, this black pickup truck that had been the source of trouble for her, she had mentioned this to you a few times, correct?
She did, yes.
Okay, and you mentioned it to the police, correct?
I believe I did that night.
Okay, and because you were concerned that may have had something to do with her disappearing and her saying that she's been kidnapped, right?
Before that we did. After that we were really too concerned because they were checked out, but yes, we were concerned.
Okay, you never did find out exactly who owned the truck or who they were or why they were creeping April out, right?
I didn't, but I'm not sure if they were dead.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, April's natural color was like a light blonde? Light blonde?
Natural, yes.
And she, at least in the picture that we saw around the unfortunate time that she passed away, it was dyed raspberry blonde, is that about?
Yes,
is that
it
right?
was.
Is that similar to your color, to the color
A
you have?
little bit darker.
A little bit darker. Is it also what they call auburn? Is that the same thing?
It was more darker than that. It was more brown, burgundy type of thing.
Okay. And if you remember, could it have been, I know you said you don't remember exactly what she wore the day she left, but does white top ring a bell? Could she have been wearing a white top?
Yes,
With blue jeans, shorts that were cut off with maybe a black stripe?
yes.
And she had the backpack and she was wearing white tennis
White
shoes?
tennis shoes, yes.
And when the police came, you also indicated that there was a girl named Heather that you thought might be involved or might have something to do with it, right? You said she's like
She
a...
gave her trouble in school.
Okay. And she gave her trouble because she also liked Austin?
Yes,
Okay. And she would try to drift the two of them apart, right?
yes.
And April would refer to her as a backstabber? Or
Yes.
at least, okay. Now, ma'am, the person that did this to April, you would want to see them severely punished, correct?
Yes,
Is it more important to you that just somebody is convicted, or is it more important to you that the right person is caught and punished?
the right person.
Because you don't want them to do this to anybody else, correct?
I don't know.
Now, for the most part, you and April were very close, and of course, the teenage years that happened, but other than that, correct?
Yes,
Had she ever mentioned the name James VanCallis?
no,
Other than these proceedings, have you ever seen Mr. James VanCallis before?
no,
Do you know anything about him having to do with any connection with April?
no.
And you know that the police have diligently been investigating this case from at least July 24, 2014, right? You also indicated that April has a good friend by the name of Faith Dillard, I believe it is?
Yes,
And that's like her BFF, right?
yes,
Okay. And has Faith ever mentioned anything about
no.
James VanCallis, about any kind of interaction between them? And she pretty much, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if I remember correctly, Faith pretty much shared a lot of things with Faith, right? Faith and April were pretty close?
Faith pretty much lived in my house.
Okay. You want to for me briefly? Consult with my client. Take care, and I hope you continue healing, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's a 14-year-old girl also,
Yeah,
and you indicated that your daughter was, I guess, not shy online. Do I take that to mean she was shy in person?
she was quiet. I want to say shy, but she was quiet.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you.
Nothing further. Thank you for your time, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you here tomorrow at 10:30. Again, you're asked not to say, talk about the case, read anything about the case, take extra precaution when you go home and the television is on. And I will see you at 10:30. Now, please be mindful that I have a docket before you arrive. Sometimes I run a little late. If I'm going to be more than 15 minutes, the deputy will come in and let you know so that you can go and I'll give you a different time. But for the most part, I think I'll be done around 10:30. So we'll see you then. Have a great night.
All right.